Welcome everyone to this day 6. We have been trying to complete the SQL 50 challenge. In the last 5 days we have talked about all the different types of the complex queries. Today we're going to focus on the final segment, and that is more around the string expressions, the regular expressions, the queries that we can run to go and modify the columns, change that, take help of the string manipulation and the regular expressions. So let's get started. Let's directly jump to the problems and solve in the hands-on manner. Let's get started. Perfect. So let's start with the first problem for the day today. We are solving the problems around the advanced string functions, regular expressions, and the clauses. Hopefully it should be the easy problem. The first one is E itself, as you can see on the screen. I'm starting with the first problem, which is fix names in a table. Okay, let it get loaded. So it's a problem number 1667 and say that fix names in a table. What I see on the screen right now, let me go and extend the screen. This is a table called as a users. Okay, this is a users table in which I have two column names, user ID, which is of type int, and then I have a name which is a varchar. User ID is the primary key column with the unique values for this table. The table consists the ID and the name of the user. So this is the ID and this one is the name. The name consists of only the lowercase and the uppercase characters. Fair enough. Write a solution to fix the name so that only the first character is uppercase and the rest are the lowercase. Okay, so this is the main question. Only the first character is uppercase and the rest are the lowercase. The return the result table ordered by the user ID. So this is the point number 1 that I have to focus. This is the point number 2 that I have to focus. The result format is in the following example. Let's try to see one example of that. So if I see here, I have this users table. Name 1 is Alice, B is Bob. Now when I go and correct this, first character becomes capital, all the other are small. First character is capital, all the other are small, and then it is on the user ID, it is sorted. Kind of I know now that what has to be done, right? So now let's try to go and solve this. So now let's start writing the query for it. I know what has to be done. Now I would want you people to pause your screen, try to write the query yourself, and once it is done, come back and see if you have been able to write the query. And if not, please put that into the comments if you want me to create a detailed course on SQL so that all these problems becomes easier for you people. Now it's time to write the query. Let me bring the screen to the left. Let me open my desk scribble. Okay. So what was my thing? I have to go and change this column name values so that the first alphabet is capital and everything else is a small letter, right? So let me go and write the query for this. I'll have to concatenate the string typically. So I'll go and say that select. I have to put print user ID, so I go and say the user underscore ID, and then I go and say that concat, and then inside this I have to put the first alphabet as the uppercase. So I go and use a function called as upper, and then I go and say that I go and take from the left, and I go and take the name and then take the first character, and then inside this concat I go and take this all the other part lower, and I go and use this lower and what is this substring, and then I go and say that name comma 2, and this has to be presented as name. So I go and call it as name from what is the table name is users, right? And then I have to do order by user underscore ID. To see here what I'm trying to do here, so boss, if you try to see, I'm trying to concatenate the two parts. So I've split the two string into the two halves. So this part will give me the first character, and this will be in uppercase, and this part will be the remaining name, but it will be in the lower case. So this will be in the uppercase, this one will be in the uppercase, and this will be in the lower case, and I have to go and concatenate, right? And I have to use as a name column from users, user by user ID. Now if I go and run this, let's try to see if it works. And that's the fun of teaching things live. You get to know if you have written the right code or not. Perfect. So it has been accepted. Let me go and click on the submit, and hopefully my solution will get submitted. Perfect. I have been able to beat 38.84% of the people. Most of the people would be able to get the right answer because it's very simple and straight. Let's go back to the next question. So if I go back to my SQL 50, the next question is patients with a condition. It's also a type easy. Let's try to see what it is. So patient with the condition, problem number 1527, it says that I have a table called as patients, and this table has a column called as patient ID, patient name and condition. Okay boss. Patient ID is of type integer, patient name is varchar, condition is varchar. Patient ID is the primary key for this table. Condition contains 0 or more codes separated by the spaces. Okay. This table contains information of the patients in the hospital. Okay. So I have the patient ID, have the patient name, and then all the different types of the conditions are all comma separated values. Great. What I have to do now? Write a solution to find the patient ID, patient name, and condition of the patient who have the type 1 diabetes. Okay. So in this condition thing where there are multiple conditions which is comma separated, I have to go and search for a pattern, right? I have to go and find type 1 diabetes, and come to DIA prefix. Return the result table in any order. The result format is in the following example. Let's try to see the example. I have this table, patient name, and then I have the conditions and comma separated. I see there is a space separated, right? It is a space separated. Okay. And then I have an output which looks something like this. So only those conditions which has this thing DIA, BI, DI, so I have in this record, and I have in this record. So I have this 3 and 4. I think the 5 also should have, right? It should have 3, 4, and the 5 DIAB. No, but instead starting with a 2, let me see the prefix DIB1. Okay, since start with the 2, so it should not be the case. So that's how I have this being, I go and do here. I think this is satisfied and this is satisfied, and that's why I'm printing 3 and 4, which is this record and this record. Great. So I have got the output here. So both Bob and George both have a condition that start with DIAB1. Awesome. Now I know how I have got some thought process how to write the query for this. If you have some thoughts, please pause the video, try it out yourself, and then come back and see what I am writing right now. So let me go and bring this section to the left part of it, and we have to go and do this thing. So I have to go and scan the result. I have to filter out. I have to go and see if those keywords are present in the conditions column or not, right? So for that, what I go and do, I have to print the patient ID. So I'll go and say that select patient underscore ID. I also have to print patient name. So I go and say that patient underscore name. These two things were common. The next one is where I have to go and put the conditions. So I go and say that conditions, because I have to print all the conditions. Right? If I go and see it, what is the call? Conditions. From, what is the name of the table? The name of the table is what is the name of the table? Patients. From patients, where, and I go and say that here conditions, and I'll have to go and write regex expression here. So regex expression, and then I have this, and I have to match this prefix which was written here, right? It has to match with this one, right? So I'll say that you can start with this. This has to be prefixed with this. So I want to say that this says yes, and then here I go and call it as DIAB1, and after that it could be any number from 0 to 9, and post that it could be anything, which is slash column. So this is the regular expression that I've written. Let's try to run this and see if it works. It has been accepted. If I go and click on the submit button, my solution has been accepted. Perfect. So we have been able to solve this problem. Now let's move to the next question. Let's go back and see what is the next question. The delete duplicate emails. It is also of tag easy. Let's try to see how it is actually. Let's go and click on this. Delete duplicate emails. So I have a table called as person. Very nice. I have two columns in this, ID integer and the email, which is a varchar. As the title says that I might have to duplicate emails has to be removed. Let's go and see if that is the case. ID is the primary key column with the unique values for this table. Each row of this table contains an email. The emails will not contain the uppercase letters. Okay. Write a solution to delete all the duplicate emails. Very good statement is that the emails will not contain the uppercase letter. So I don't have to take care of the case sensitivity. Write a solution to delete all the duplicate emails, keeping only one unique email with the smallest ID. This is the most important part of this question. For SQL users, please note that you are supposed to write a delete statement and not a select one. You have to use a delete statement and not a select one. For pandas user, please note that you are supposed to modify the person in place. Since I'm a SQL user, I'm writing the SQL code, so I'll be using this delete statement. After running your script, the answer shown in the person table, the driver will first compile and run your piece of code and then show the person table. The final order of the person table does not matter. The result format is in the following example. So for example, let's say that if I have this table ID1, this and this. So I have to go and delete this one. I'll just keep the first one. So that's why if I go and now the output, there will be only two IDs, ID1 and 2, which is John and the Bob at example.com. Fair enough. I have got an idea that what I have to do. I'm giving you time to go and think of how it could be solved and then come back and see the solution. Now let's get started with the solution here itself. So what I'll do here, let me scroll this up. I have to go and delete the duplicate rows. So I go and say that delete from person table. Now I have to delete, this is for sure, right? Now what has to be deleted? I have to write the condition for that. So I have to go and write this select ID from, and then I go and say that select minimum ID. I'll go and say that min ID as ID from person group by email as. So I get this delete from the person, select ID from, select minimum ID as ID from the person group by email as temp. Okay, let's run this and see if it works. So there is syntax error, deletes from here. This will not work because I have to also write the condition here, right? I have missed, so I have to actually go and write the condition here where, and then I'll go and say that, well, ID is not in. I purposefully wrote that line so that you guys will be able to understand. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm saying that, boss, this is my table called as person. I have delete from this person table few entries where ID is not present in this ID. I have to delete all those. Now if I go and run this, I think this will give me the result. Let me go and click on the run. It has been accepted. We go and click on the submit button. Let's see if this gets selected. Perfectly fine. So I have been able to beat 80.58% of the people who have solved this solution on the LeetCode. Let's go back and solve another problem. Second highest salary. It is again tagged with the medium question, so it must be a good one. Let's go back and see what the question says. So the question says that you have to find the second highest salary. This is the table which is employee. Employee table has two columns. One of the column is ID, another column is salary. Okay, ID is of type int, salary is of also type int. ID is the primary key column with the unique values for this table. Each row of this table contains information about the salary of an employee. Okay, boss. ID is the primary key for this table. Each row of this table contains information about the salary of an employee. Great. What I have to do then? Second highest salary. Write a solution to find the second highest distinct salary from the employee table. If there are no second highest salary, then return null. Okay. I have to find the second highest salary. The result format is in the following example. So I have these salaries 100, 200, 300. Second highest salary is 200. Now if you see here, finding the highest or lowest is easy. But second highest, how do I go and find it? So if I go and remove the highest from the remaining results and then find the highest among those remaining items, that will get me the second highest. That could be one thought process. What is yours? Just think of, try to write your query, pause the video here itself, and come back and see if your query matches with the thought which I have in my mind. I'm kind of done. Let's quickly write the code, query for this. So what I go and say that, let me go and write here as select, and I go and call it as, right, I go and call it as select distinct salary, okay boss, from employee, bring this down, from employee, order by salary descending, because so that I go and get the highest salary at the top, and I go and set that limit 1, and I go and say that offset should be set as 1 itself, and I go and call it as second highest salary. This is the other more optimal way. In this, I don't have to write multiple queries. What I'm trying to say is that I go and arrange that in the decreasing order of the salary. So the top will be at the first 0th position or the first position, then the second highest. And I'm saying that I want to get only 1 and I want to start from the first index. So the offset set is equals to 1. So now if I go and run this and see if it works, let me go and click on this run button. And my answer is accepted. And let me go and click on the submit button. And it is 64.38% people has been beaten by my code that I have written here. Let's go back to the next question and see how we can go and solve that. It's a question number 48. Only 3 questions are now left, including this one. Group sold products by the date. I think it seems very easy to me by the title itself. The tag is also easy. Let's try to quickly go and see what the question is. Question says that question number 1484, group sold products by the date. Okay, the name of the table is activities. It has a column name called as sell date and it is of type date. It has a column name called as product and it is of type varchar. So this activities table has 2 columns, sell date and the product. Sell date type is date and the product type is varchar. There is no primary key. Okay, column with unique values for this table, it may contain duplicates. There is no primary key. Each row of this table contains the product name and the date it was sold in a market. So it might be duplicate entries. Write a solution to find for each date the number of, write a solution to find for each is the number of different products sold and their names. Okay. The sold products name for each date should be sorted lexicographically. This is an important point. Again, so it has to be, so it's basically just sort by the order of strings, ascending order. Return the result table ordered by sell date. Okay, so this is 1 point, this is 0.2 that I have to keep in mind, this is 0.3 that I have to keep in mind. The result format is in the following example. Let's go down. So this is the activities table. Okay, and these are the different products. So for a sale, let's say for example 30, if I go in, this is 30, this is 30 and this is 30. So for 3 dates, 1, 2 and the 3, I have headphone, I have basketball and I have t-shirt. So I have got this number of items sold is 3 and these are the items. Okay boss, and I have to write this comma separated and then again this and then again this. So I have to do some kind of aggregation and I have to do some kind of string manipulation here boss, right? So I know now what has to be done. Please pause this video, try this query yourself and then come back and see if that matches with the query that we are writing. Now how do I go and write it? If I go and remove this portion and let's take this here. Perfect. So now let's try to write the query. Group sold product by the date. So what I'll do now is that let me go and call it as select. See what I have to show the result is in this format. I have to go and provide the sell date. So I go and call it in sell date underscore date. And then I have to go in number of sold. So I have to do the aggregation, right? So I'll have to go and say that, let's say that I go and call it as count and then I go and call it as distinct product. Right, this is the column which is the product. Okay, so I consider the distinct product and this I call it as num underscore sold Perfect. And then what I'm going to do that I have to go and concat. So I'm going to call the group underscore concat. I have to concat all the strings, and in this I'm going to say that distinct, and I got the product ordered by product, and the separator rater should be comma, right? And this I go and write as products. Where select sell date, count distinct product as number sold, comma group concat distinct product order by product separator comma as products from activities. Okay, and then I have to group by sell underscore date order by, you have to control the sell underscore date. See, what I'm doing here is that I'm saying that I have to go and provide the sell date, perfectly fine, and then I have to count products as the number sold. This is done. So this and this is sorted, and then products have to be concatenated. So I'm saying group concat. I'm providing all the products order by the product separated comma as products from activities table, group by sell date, and order by sell date. I hope this should work. Let's try to run this and see if it works. So if I go and click on this run button, it has been accepted. Let me go and click on the submit. And yes, finally the answer has been accepted, and I have been able to beat 81.37% of the people. Let's go back and solve the last two problems of this series, guys. The next problem is list the products ordered in a period. Is problem number 1327, tagged as easy. I have a table called as products. In this product table, I have the column names product ID, product name, product category, first of type int, then varchar. This is the primary key column for this table. The table contains data about the company's products. Okay, what I have to do? Then I have orders table, product ID, order date, and the unit. Okay, int, date, int. This table may have the duplicate rows. Product ID is a foreign key to the product table. Unit is the name of the product ordered in the order date. Write a solution to get the name of the product that have at least 100 units ordered in February 2020 and their amount. So I have to get data from the two different tables, right? And the question is, write a solution to get the name of the product they have at least 100 units ordered in February 2020 and their amount. In the result table in any order, the result format is in the following example. Let's try to see what the format should be. So I have this input table, product, product name, product category, order, product ID 1. If I go and group by on this, I'll get total number of units. I have to go and find if the order unit is more than 100, then I have to go and print that out. Right, so output is LeetCode solution is the product name. Okay, and 130 units has been sold, and then LeetCode kit is another one which has more than 100 units. So I'm able to print product name and the unit. Okay, understood. So I've put up my brain now. I put up my mind that how do I go and write the query. Pause it, try it yourself. I'm again repeating, and then come back and see if that matches with my solution. So I go now here. How do I go and write it? Let me go and bring this here, bring this span down, and let me go and write the product order the period. Right. So I go and say that select, and I have to select what all things. I have to select product name and the unit. Right. So I go and say that select p dot product underscore unit comma product underscore name actually comma sum of o dot unit as unit, right, from orders table which is o, and then I have to join the products table which is p on and on I'll consider o dot product underscore id equals to p dot product underscore id, where I go and call it as o dot order underscore date is greater than equals to, and I have to do it for the February 2030, I believe, or February 2020. So I have to go and say that it should be greater than equals to, and I go and provide 2020 0201 and it should be o dot order underscore date, and that should be less than 2020 comma 0301, followed by group by, and I go and call it as p dot product underscore id comma p dot product underscore name having, and I want to the sum of o dot unit should be greater than equals to 100. So what I'm writing here, I'm saying that boss, take the product name. See, there are two tables, I have to do the join. That's a normal hint. That if I have to get the table from the two tables, has to have the join. So I'm joining the two tables called as product table and the order table, and I'm joining on the product ID. The product ID is the common column in both the tables. I'm taking the name, I'm doing the sum, so I'm doing the aggregation here. And if I'm doing the aggregation, I'll have to group by the product ID and the product name. This is the date range which I'm seeing that it is only for the February 2020, and the condition is if the unit sold is more than 100. We go and try to run this and see if it works. Perfect, it worked. Let me go and submit this and see how many % people have beaten already on LeetCode. So I've been able to beat 74.65% of the people. Let's go back and solve the final ultimate question of this 6-day series in which we have been trying to solve this SQL 50 challenge. The final question, it is tagged as easy, is find users with valid email. Let's try to see that what it is. Find users with the valid emails. Okay, this is a table called as users. It has a column name called as user ID, name, and the mail. Okay, user ID is the primary key, boss. This is the primary key. First information for this table. This table contains information of the user signed up in a website. Some emails are invalid. Very normal use case in the industry, guys. Now if I come down, it says that write a solution to find the users who have valid email IDs. A valid email ID has a prefix name and a domain where the prefix name is a string that may contains, what is the valid? Is the prefix name string that may contains letter upper and lower, digits, underscores, and dash. The prefix name must start with a letter. Okay. The domain is at the, so these are the two important criteria. Basically, I'll have to do some kind of regex check, regular expression check to go and see if it is a valid email or not. Very simple question, guys. It's just a regex check. I have to write a where clause and it should get sorted. Please go and try it yourself and then come back and see if it is right. The last question was very easy. I expected some tough question. It's very easy. It's a regular expression check that I'll have to go and do. So what I have to do here, I have to go and write select. I go and call it as user. What is the output format? Output has to user ID, user underscore ID. Then it has to have the name and then it has to have the mail. Perfect. And then I have to write from users. Great. And then I have to write the where mail, and then it should be regex expression, and that expression I have to go and write. So it has to first start with the alphabets, right? So it has to be either from small a to z or capital A to capital Z. Okay, so first has to be the letter, followed by it could be A to Z, or it could be capital A to capital Z, or it could be 0 to 9, or it could be dot, or it could be underscore, or it could be dash, right? And then there could be at the rate LeetCode should be the suffix, followed by .com. Then this is how it should look like, right? Let's try to run and see if it works. Perfect, it has been accepted. Let me go and click on submit button. And in this final question, I've finally done it. Congratulations, you have solved all the problems of SQL 50. Check out the badge on your profile and wear the glory. Perfect, so I've been able to solve this and my challenge is now complete. Finally, we have come to the end of this day. I can't be more happy. We have been able to complete this challenge. Please put that into the comments if you have been following along. You have also completed the challenge with me. And that in the case if you find that it was tough, you find it difficult to solve the queries, put that into the comments and I'll be more than happy to bring a dedicated course from scratch of learning the SQL, so that these challenges, the problems which gets asked in the interview, or when you are actually developing softwares and you're dealing with relational database management system, as an analyst, as a developer, you have to write the queries. You know how to write this complex queries. Very happy, very satisfied that we have been able to complete this challenge. Thank you for watching and keep learning on this channel, Vishwa Mohan.